Have you ever had that feeling that your world hasn't vanished, but it's just gotten smaller? It's a really quiet, subtle shift. And, if you felt it, you are definitely not alone. I want you to just take a second and really think about that. Does your life right now feel smaller than it used to? And look, I don't mean physically, of course not. Your house is the same size, your town hasn't shrunk. I mean, emotionally. It's that feeling deep down that the scope of your life, that landscape of possibilities, has somehow contracted. And it happens so quietly, so slowly, that you almost don't notice it's happening at all. But what if there's a real reason for this feeling? Let's explore that. Okay, so let's dive right into this feeling. And I want to be clear, this isn't about being ungrateful, and it's definitely not about being unhappy. It's more that subtle sense that the world of possibilities, the vibrancy of it all, has just gently pulled back a little. I mean, does any of this sound familiar? The days just have fewer surprises. You can't remember the last time you did something for the very first time. There's this deep feeling of predictability, right? Like you've seen this movie before and you know exactly how it's going to end. And yeah, that's comfort, but it can also feel pretty limiting. But here is the most crucial thing to understand. This feeling is not an inevitable part of getting older. It's not some law of physics. It is a protective mechanism that we have built for ourselves, literally brick by brick. Just think back to when you were younger. You hoped loudly, right? You believed anything could happen. You dreamed of all these endless possibilities. But over time, after enough disappointments, we learn. We learn to be quieter with our hopes. We learn to expect the scenarios we already know. And we learn to value the safety of what's familiar. And this right here, this is the core of it. We become experts at emotional self-protection. To avoid that sting of failure or disappointment, we subconsciously lower our expectations. We don't stop hoping because we've given up. We do it to protect ourselves. It is so crucial to see this for what it really is. These walls aren't a sign of weakness. They're actually a sign of wisdom. Just learn the hard way. They were built for one specific purpose, to keep the pain out. But, and there's always a but, right? This protection, it comes at a cost. There is a totally unintended consequence to living in this well-protected, smaller space. This table just illustrates the trade-off perfectly. I mean, look at it. We build these walls intending to block out emotions like pain and disappointment, but those exact same walls unintentionally block out joy and surprise. We try to avoid the risk and the failure, and in doing that, we fence off growth and discovery. You just can't selectively numb emotion. It doesn't work that way. And this is the ultimate trade-off, isn't it? We avoid the lows, but in doing so, we land in this state of just being okay. We're not in pain, sure, but we're not truly fulfilled either. It's when someone asks, "How are you?" and you say, "I'm fine," and you really mean it. But fine is a long, long way from feeling truly alive. So what do? How do we fix this? How do we let some of that vibrancy back in without just tearing down the very walls that keep us safe? Well, the answer isn't some huge dramatic thing. It's actually surprisingly gentle. And this is not about some dramatic life overhaul. You don't have to quit your job or move to a new city. It's about small, intentional acts of curiosity. Think of them as tiny little expansions. What if you had just one real conversation with a neighbor or took a different street on your walk home? What if you deliberately entertained a thought that challenges your own, just for a moment? Because here's the beautiful truth. That sense of wonder you had as a kid, it didn't die. It's not gone. It's just dormant. It's waiting for you to give it permission to come out and play again, even in these really small ways. And this brings us to what is maybe the most powerful mindset shift of all. It's about changing the fundamental question that guides our day-to-day choices. For a long time, this was absolutely the right question to ask. Is this safe? It kept us from repeating old mistakes. It protected us when we were vulnerable. It served its purpose. It did its job. But at a certain point, that question stops serving us and starts caging us in. The new question, the one that opens doors instead of locking them, is this one. Is this meaningful? You feel the shift there? It's not about being reckless, it's about seeking resonance. Does this activity, this conversation, this choice, does it align with the person you are today? Does it add depth to the life you're actually living, not the one you thought you'd have? It moves the whole goalpost from just surviving to genuinely being fulfilled. And this is so key. We often confuse expansion with breadth, doing more things, meeting more people, just filling the calendar. But true expansion in this season of life, it comes from depth. It's about filling your soul, not your schedule. It's about having one truly present conversation, not 10 superficial ones. I want you to just hold on to this thought. Let it be a gentle mantra. The next time you feel that sense of predictability creeping in, just whisper this to yourself. It's a quiet little act of rebellion against the idea that your story is already all written. So, I'll leave you with this. What's one tiny spark of curiosity that you've been tamping down? Reading a book on a topic you know nothing about? Finally trying that recipe? Asking that one question you've been too embarrassed to ask? That little spark, that is the doorway back to a bigger world. And you absolutely deserve to walk through it.